Welcome to Prep Rally, presented by arpreps.com. I'm your host, Vernon Tarver, with the Northwest Arkansas Democrat-Gazette, joined by Chip Souza, sports editor with the NWADG Northwest Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. State championship time. We had 7A, 6A, 5A down at War Memorial Stadium last week. We've got 4A, 3A, 2A this week. Fayetteville does it again in 7A, Chip. Purple Dogs just keep rolling. That's back-to-back. That's 5 overall. They've done that all in the last 10 years. Taylor Powell, that defense really came to play. North Little Rock, we thought it was going to be a closer game, but 53-19 wasn't close. They just steamrolled them.
They're the Alabama of 7A football in Arkansas.
Lately,
yes,
they're Bentonville had that title. Now Fayetteville's kind of taking it over, and Bill Blankenship comes in there and really his job was to keep it rolling. And they had some drama in the off season. We all know about it, but that's the job that he had to come do. Is they had a talented team, and North Little Rock had a talented team, but there's just a difference, and nothing's changed. The 7A West is still the best.
Well, you had talked about this before the game, and it could not have been more spot on, Vernon, when you talked about the strength of schedule that Fayetteville played as compared to the schedule that North Little Rock played. Not only in the non-conference games, which we know Fayetteville played a pretty tough non-conference schedule, but just the week-in, week-out grind of the 7A West. That's why the 7A West has won 12 state championships in a row. It's every week, these games in the 7A West, I'm not saying every team, but the 7A West teams, from top to bottom, give the teams that make it to the final, that toughness that they're used to. And I think that's a big. I think that's a big
my
thing.
advice for 7A Central teams: schedule tough, be willing to go out of state, schedule, and strength and condition, strength program. Because in the trenches, you're not even close. I mean, Bentonville, Fayetteville, Harbor, they're just these teams up here. In the trenches, both sides of the ball, you can just see it's not the top teams in the West still have such an advantage.
Correct.
They're dominating both sides of the ball. And that's why it's still not close.
I mean, that's where games are won and lost.
And that was where Fayetteville won it. They dominated. They made the big plays on defense, the big interception by Coulter, the big fumble return, Kester Olson, a state championship record, 88-yard touchdown return. And they just roll on. Bill Blankenship talked with us about the big defensive plays, about the championship, and here's Coach Blankenship after the game.
I told people, the question always asked about college and high school, coaching is coaching. And if it was my team from Spiro at Ada, that seemed like the Super Bowl. This is our Super Bowl. If you're with the college team, that's the Super Bowl. Whatever level we got, players are players, and you just love to see them strive for something and then to get to achieve it. That celebration is what you hope carries over into their life, and those seeds are planted. There was and Vernon, you'd probably know this better, but there was a stat going for quite a while. I don't know if we got it in the playoffs, but we had scored on defense or special teams every game except the first Mintonville game. And so the trend of when we can score defensively or on special teams, we win games. There's something to that.
Also, Taylor Powell, your MVP, what a career. I mean, he's going to go down as one of the top quarterbacks in the state. 3 state championship games. He's the only 7A quarterback that's done that. 2 titles. He's going to Wake Forest, and they're getting a good one. And Taylor Powell, the state championship most valuable player, also talked to us. Here's Taylor with his thoughts on really the senior class and their legacy at Fayetteville.
Yeah, I'm speechless right now. It's unbelievable feelings, like manifest destiny. You couldn't draw it up any better. We have a complete team, and that's our senior class. You look back at it, we have most wins out of any class at FHS. 2 state championships, and that's not individuals. That's everybody that's been in that class and the other classes that have been supported with us. Yeah, no, like I said, it's our senior class. We've all been through a lot, and we've won a lot of games, and we decided to come in here like it was another Friday night, just execute, and we got another state championship.
So you come back to Taylor Powell, Vernon, you look at the succession of quarterbacks that Fayetteville's had. It started, even before Brandon Allen. It goes back farther than that in the success that they've had.
Zach Clark.
It goes all the way back to there. And so, now who's going to be the next guy that's going to come in after Taylor Powell? I mean, that's going to be some very big shoes to fill. Because
it is. I mean, 8 of the last 9 years, it's been Allen, Powell. So next year, when we keep doing this show and we keep talking about previewing football in 7A next year, it's going to be interesting because there's a lot a lot of changes at Fayetteville and in the conference. In 6A, Russellville takes down the power, takes
They
down
did.
Greenwood. Billy Dawson deserves a lot of credit.
What a great job he's done. He's just a great coach. We talked about him, and he coached at Siloam Springs. Probably had more success there in that 1 year he was at Siloam than any coach they've had in a long time. Parlayed that into a great gig at Nashville, won a couple or 2 or 3 championships there. Got out of coaching for a little while, came back, got to Russellville. Russellville's always had great talent, and they've been right there on that edge. And they were either one of the smallest 7A schools. Now they're one of the largest 6A schools, which gives them the numbers that they needed. He's able to come in. They got a great coach with great talent. That combination, Russellville, man, them and Greenwood, that's going to be some great football in that conference for years to come. And in that class, you got those two. You got Benton, which is going to be good. El Dorado's been down a little bit, but you probably get them coming back. 6A, and we've scoffed at 6A a little bit about how they really should just be one class, and with the 7A teams. But 6A, they have a chance to be the talked about classification in this state for a while.
PA, Plastic Academy, rolls in 5A. That's not really a surprise. Wynn and PA were the top 2 teams, but it was kind of mismatch in that game.
PA's on a different level.
They are.
That'd be great if they went to 6A. If they petitioned to get to 6A, man, how great would that be?
It would be. In Class 4A, there's a lot of interest around here in Northwest Arkansas. You had 3 teams from the 4A1 conference in the semifinals. Prairie Grove was number 1 going in. What a year they had, but they ran into those Lumberjacks. Warren. Just a lot of talent, a lot of speed, great wide receiver. 48-28 Warren comes up to Prairie Grove, gets it done. Still a great season for Prairie Grove, but Warren just has that tradition, and they were a tough team.
Well, raise your hand if you thought Prairie Grove would be in a semifinal, when the season first started after what they had graduated, from the year before. But what a great job. I'm going to say that Coach Absher and that staff did their best coaching job this year. Better coaching job, I think, than the team that got to the final last year, based on the inexperience that they had, not just at quarterback, but I mean all over the field. And they did such a great job of coaching those kids up and getting them ready week after week. They knocked off, not just beat, but I mean they absolutely ran all over Shiloh Christian, ran all over Pea Ridge. Those are 2 teams that played in the other semifinal. What a great job they did. Prairie Grove had a chance Friday night. They got punched in the mouth early. I mean, they got down 28-0 and just got punched in the mouth. But, Prairie Grove's not going to quit. They came back, scored a couple touchdowns, made it 28-14, got the ball at halftime, got the ball to start the third quarter, got a drive out to midfield. If they punch that drive in, if they finish it and make it 28-21, then who knows what might happen. But Prairie Grove went for a 4th down near midfield, got stopped, and then then the floodgates opened for Warren, ended up winning 48-28.
And Pea Ridge and Shiloh, who would have guessed that at the beginning of the year, 2 4A1 teams would have been in the semifinals against one another? That's exactly what happened. It's Pea Ridge 30-24 over Shiloh. Great game. The Blackhawks in the finals. Let's start with Shiloh, though. A great year to make it close and almost get to the finals. Coach Conaway did a great job.
We talked about Shiloh at the beginning of the season that this was going to be their best team since 2010. They stumbled a couple of times in the regular season, lost to Prairie Grove, lost to Pea Ridge. Not close games. They lost big time. So what a great job that coaching staff did over Shiloh to get those kids rallied, especially after losing that Week 10 game to Pea Ridge. They were able to take advantage of some favorable matchups in the playoffs, which is great for them, and advance to the semifinals. We talked about this. When you looked at the bracket, it looked like Shiloh had a chance to get to the semifinals, and they did. Friday night, they were down 30-24. Pea Ridge just scored a touchdown, missed the extra point, left that door open a little bit for Shiloh to come back. Shiloh gets the ball, moves it all the way down to the Pea Ridge 25, get a 4th down. Pea Ridge defense comes up with a stop, and they end up running out the clock and beating them 30-24. If Shiloh scores there and kicks that PAT, who knows? They may hang on and win that game. So, but a great job. Jeff Conaway and that staff did a great job this year with that team.
Coach Conaway talked to us about his season. Great job. Let's hear from Coach right now.
Well, we're disappointed, but that was a great football game, and we played a great football team. And just real proud of our seniors. They've gone through a lot of adversity in this football program, and very proud of the way that they just pushed through it. Through junior high, going to a 7A conference and having to battle. They've had a lot of their their teammates quit throughout the years, and these seniors have hung with it. They're a special group, and they're going to be great husbands and fathers and employees and Christ followers because of the game of football. And again, I'm just proud of our seniors. I'm proud of our team. They really got a lot better, and just proud of the way that we competed throughout the year in the playoffs. Obviously, we wish we would have had this one tonight. Wish we would have made a few more plays, because a few more plays may have been the biggest difference in the game, or may have changed the outcome. But we didn't. We got to move on.
And then on the other side, P. Ridge. Here's Stephen Neal, kind of like Blankenship at
Exactly.
Fayetteville, comes in, great program. He's asked to just kind of keep it in place, and he takes it one further. They were in the semifinals. Now they're in the finals in his first season. Just a great job, and they had a tough road through the playoffs. They weren't given much of a chance. I mean, look at their playoff map to get through Nashville, to get through some of these teams and make it to the finals. What a job.
Well, I talked to Coach Neal after the game, and he'll talk about this more on the video and the interview that I had with him after the game. But so I asked him, I said, Coach, what does it feel like to lead this program to its first ever state championship game? And he said, and very quickly deflected that praise and said, listen, I'm not the one who led the team here. Coach Tony Travis, who was here before me, he's the one who built the foundation, laid the foundation. These assistant coaches who stayed here, like John King and Coach Easterling, those coaches who stayed, he goes, those are the guys, who should deserve the credit for what this team's been able to do. But you take a look at P. Ridge, the biggest move maybe they made in the offseason, and hiring Coach Neal was a great move for them. Hiring Crosby Tuck from Shiloh Christian to come in and be their offensive coordinator. He came in, he was a legend at Shiloh Christian, a legend as a player, was part of that, great success that they had when Josh Floyd first got that coaching job there. He came over to P. Ridge, and a lot of people, and throw me in that mix included, thought that P. Ridge would be a spread team, 4 guys wide, and do the same thing that they'd done at Shiloh. They did not do that. They stayed true to what P. Ridge does. They stayed true to that power run game that P. Ridge has had so much success with, and that's so they have 2 backs with over 1,000 yards. What Coach Tuck did is he took that base offense and he added and worked on that passing game with Jakota Sainsbury, a first-year starter at quarterback. They were able to add that passing element that they hadn't had, and that's just really made their football team a balanced team on offense, and they're very difficult to stop, because if you load up that box, and that's what Nashville did. They loaded up that box to try to stop that run game, and P. Ridge said, that's fine. If you want to stop that run game, we'll let Hayden Holtbrew run wild on you, and that's what they did. And so they're a tough team, and I know Warren's going to be favored by in this championship game. But I'm going back and looking at what they did against Nashville and going down there and just whipping Nashville all over the field on the road. I'm telling you right now, don't count P. Ridge out Friday.
And here's Coach Neal with his thoughts, like Chip said here on Prep Rally.
That was the season. It came down to that. It was going to come down to that last drive. We were hoping we'd get the ball back. We'd be able to, run the ball out a little bit, run the clock down some, and we did. But that was the season. There at that time. But Chip, it's not just that play. It was play after play after play after play tonight. We go in at halftime and they've scored 24 points. We come out in the second half, and just like they have always done all year long since January, and this is going to be a long answer, so forgive me, okay?
Yep.
But ever since January, this senior class and this team, all they've done is overcome adversity. You go from one of the most popular coaches here that built this program leaving, a new coach coming in, a new system, a new offensive coordinator coming in, then going through the season that they've gone through and overcoming some adversity through that. So it was a great win for the program, a great win for the community. Real quick, I haven't taken them to the first ever state title or the first ever state championship game. That was not me. That was done a long time before I got here. So Coach Travis and Coach Caton and Coach Alexander, Coach Reynolds, Coach Easton, those are the guys that built this program. We're just hoping, guys like Coach Tuck and myself, we're just hoping that we can help take it to the next level. But Chip, it was already headed there to begin with. It's just nice to be able to come in and like I've told some other people, I've just been along for the ride and let these guys coach and let this community do what they've done so far.
So there's your recap of 7A, 6A, 5A. Congratulations, Fayetteville. Good luck to P. Ridge. A big matchup in the 4A game Friday night at War Memorial Stadium. You can check out the interviews. You can check out the show on arpreps.com, on nwadg.com, and we'll see you next time on Prep Rally.
See ya.